Hello everyone. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, so trying to, but I thought it was time to share some things that I've been thinking about. So March 8th will be 1 year of #causeascene. I launched it on International Women's Day, and I've just been thinking about what I learned this past year. And what I want to take forward with me into the new year of #causeascene. What I learned was that there's a community for this work, that the tech space recognizes that there's a need for us to do better when it comes to the products and services and the businesses that we create, and that people are willing, once they recognize that they're causing harm, to step up to the plate and actually get the work done, to actually invest in it, to actually do something. That's one thing I learned. Another thing I learned is that there are many people, particularly in tech leadership, who don't care. For whatever reasons, they just don't care. It's either going to be too much work for them to create better products and services, create better businesses, focus on their communities and the health of their communities. They just don't care. And they don't care because the negativity does not affect them directly. The negativity has not impacted their lives in real, tangible ways. And for some people, unfortunately, it's going to take litigation. It's going to take causing real, tangible harm for them to understand that we cannot continue to function as a community the way we've been functioning. And this is why I speak a lot about lack of inclusion as a risk management issue. And I want to stop here because people think I'm an inclusion and diversity consultant. I am not. I'm a business strategy. And inclusion and diversity just happens to be the big, huge obstacle that many of these organizations are struggling with, because they never thought about this when they're creating. First of all, let me back up even further. Most of you don't even have businesses. What you have is a product or service that you've been able to scale, but there are no structures, no processes, no procedures, nothing in place that will help you create something that is of benefit for others. And when you recognize that, when you recognize you have to put these things in place, now you're going back and putting in piecemealing, and that does not work. I'm gonna say it does not work. It's not working for many of you because you don't have the perspective of how to do that. Slapping on a HR department does not work. Slapping on a marketing department does not work. Bringing in some senior level inclusion person does not work when the culture sucks, when the fundamental way the business runs is against anything that's inclusive. And this comes from business leaders. This is where our tech business leadership has failed us time and time again. And I'm tired of it. But you know what? You guys know I have to do this work as a strategy. And so another thing that I've learned is a lot of the work that I've done in 2000 for the first year, although it's been beneficial for helping many of you understand the systemic oppression, the systemic harm, and that much of this is rooted in racism and white supremacy. It's causing me harm to do this work. It really is. It's not only am I a business strategist, but I'm also processing as a Black woman these things. So I'm hearing people come back to me and says, "Oh, my company could really use your help, and they want to, but they don't like the way you do things because you're making them uncomfortable," and all these other things. And it's like, you know what? Well, then you're not serious about the work. You're not serious about creating products and services that don't harm other people. If you're more concerned about is how my personality affects your personality, when you understand and you recognize that I'm an expert in this field. That is bullshit. You wouldn't do it to an average white dude. You'd hire him and you deal with it. And so I just can't fight this battle anymore. I just cannot focus on the Stack Overflows anymore. I can't focus on the Girl Developments anymore. I can't focus on communities that are just absolute shit shows, and the leadership absolutely refuses to do what's in the best interest of the community. I just can't do it anymore. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm so happy, one of my clients from El Salvador, we had just got off a meeting and I was almost in tears, because what they reminded me of is the good that I do in this community, is the benefit that I bring to this community. And because of the work that we did last year, they've doubled their income. Now, if that doesn't make you think that I know what I'm doing, then I'm no longer here. Like I said, I'm not here to convince or convert. I'm here to help those people who recognize that they're complicit in whatever way in creating things, one, that are harmful to the community, and two, recognize that they don't have a business, that what they have is a product or service, and they want to build a business, and they want to understand how to do that. That's what I'm here for. I'm a business strategist. So moving forward, and this is why this video is called I Can Show You Better Than I Can Tell You. This year 2 of #CauseasCene will be more focused on business. I'm bringing in the team that is working on the website. They're combining that #CauseasCene website with the Kim Creighton LLC website. They're working on how to make that happen. Because what I do know is the conference, #CauseasCene conferences were of benefit. There were people, and yes, I'm going to brag here. I did 5 conferences last year. I did one in Chicago, San Francisco, Edinburgh, Scotland, Berlin, and London. And of those conferences, the only one that we did a actual workshop in Edinburgh. But so then that's 4 conferences that had speakers. They had 6 speakers. So 6 times 4 is 20. And of those 20 individuals, and only people who could speak at my conference are from marginalized communities, half were either non-binary or transgender individuals. I pat myself on the back that I created a space that transgender and non-binary individuals felt safe enough to speak at my conference. Who else could say that? I don't care. I know it was a small, people are like, oh, well, that's a small number. That's fine. But who else can say, not many other conference organizers can say that they've had, if you look at it just by percentages, that they've had that many, and the people who weren't transgender or non-binary, they were people of color or they were both. There was a huge LGBTQ community at my conferences. So yes, I'm going to continue to do that. I plan on doing a conference the Monday after JSConf EU in Berlin, and we're planning for one in Philadelphia in October. I do the podcast. I see so much value out of the podcast. Tito is our current sponsor, and I'm looking for sponsors for the next quarter for the podcast. It's an exclusive 3-month sponsorship. With that, that's what I'm doing there. Beyond that, I'm not going to be... I have to figure out how I want to do this, because I do recognize that many white people don't understand recognize what white supremacy looks like. So I will be continuing to call those things out, but I'll be doing it in a way where I'm just going to call it out and I'm going to mute the conversation. I'm not going to be having exchanges. I'm not going to be explaining. Because that drains me. I'm going to call it out, and whatever y'all do with that is what you do with that. But what I'm doing moving forward is working with businesses, or business leaders, tech leadership, who want to change, want to build companies that are not only profitable, but have systems in place that they're not causing harm. Because what's about to happen, and I'm seeing it in the research that I'm doing and the stuff that I'm sharing now, is employees are going to increasingly become harmed, particularly if your job has anything to do with managing social media. And this is a liability issue, particularly if you have non-binary and transgender individuals and you don't know how to language that, and you're saying and doing things that are discriminatory and harmful for them, particularly if you have Black women who every time they speak up, you shout them. They become they're angry. They're aggressive. You have Latina women who you dismiss. You have just anything that can be construed as harmful and impacts the work, the lives of people outside of your company. And that's what I guess you don't understand, that if someone's putting in 8 hours of work at a job, they're taking that home. And that's affecting how they live, or maybe you don't care. It's affecting how they live and how they process. And then I'm seeing more and more of you asking people to do things you would pay somebody to do for an interview. Are you out your fucking mind? You should not be asking somebody to do things that you're getting paid to do, to give to other clients or whatever for an interview. That is unethical and it should be illegal. And these are the things that you're going to start having a liability issue. Or these are risk management issues that you're not even aware of. You're not even cognizant of, because again, you've been in privilege. Again, these things don't affect you. Just like my recent conversation on the Changelog podcast, how the three white men that were there had no idea that they knew about Cambridge Analytica and they knew about the Russian bots, but they had no idea, with all the news that have been going on, that these bots had been mimicking Black voices, particularly Black women. If you don't know this, you don't know the things that you're creating that have these spots in them that we can be harmed. This is why inclusion is important. It's not about, it's the right thing to do, although it is, but that's not even my issue. As a business leader, you should want to create products and services that allow you to create wealth, not in just monetary, but life hack. I mean, just a wealth of your company to be about wealth in so many different ways besides money, that your employees, your partners, your investors want to stay there and want to give you what they have, and invest in you. So yeah, this is a ramble. I didn't plan this, but after having this conversation with my clients, I just almost wanted to just cry, because it made me feel so good, because I'm not hearing these stories. What I'm doing on a daily basis is putting out fires, and I'm tired of putting out fires. So moving forward, I will be doing those things with #causeascene that make me feel good, that are beneficial for the community. I will be dissecting the Stack Overflow survey when it comes out, because I don't anticipate it being much different than what we've seen the last 3 years, particularly based on some conversations and some things that I've seen in the community. But I won't be focusing. Stack Overflow will not be my focus, because Stack Overflow's leaders don't give a fuck. And I don't care if you go, they can hear this. They don't give a fuck. They're privileged white dudes, and they don't give a fuck about the community. So with that said, I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. I'm going to help these business leaders who believe in the health of the community become prosperous, becomes profitable, build businesses and communities and cultures that people want to be around. So when they start leaving, these individuals start leaving your companies for these other companies, you'll know why. You'll know that I showed you better than I could tell you. So have a wonderful day. And I'm looking forward to year 2 of #causeascene. Bye-bye.